The Perfect Genetics Challenge, Generation 1, Episode 35. Welcome, Carrots here. This is the final of 3 parts devoted to Donna's household, and we're having birthday parties to start the episode off. Meet Mabel. She's one of 3 teens who are all exactly the same age, and they're all going to age up today. Mabel is the first. She's a plant sim, and her imaginary friend is Mateo, and Mateo has an imaginary friend as well, named Connie, and that's Connie there blowing the horn on the right hand side. She'll be the 3rd one to age up today. So we're going to have 3 parties. There's Donna just arrived with the red hair. The little boy with the green t-shirt, I think that's a Keaton child. Does not belong to this household. That's Mateo just appeared on the right there behind Connie. And the little girl in the blue dress, she's another imaginary friend made real. And she belongs to Petunia, who is the little plant sim girl who's just arrived. So Mabel has blown out her candles. She's a big girl now. When I move this household to Moonlit Falls, Donna is going to go and stay at the household, the Perfect Genetics household with the Walkers, so she can get to know them, and she'll get to know her future husband, Gary, while she's there. And I'm going to have to leave the 3 teens who are going to all become young adults to take care of the younger children. Later in the episode, we're going to age up the 2 children. We'll have 4 young adults, 2 teens and 2 children, because we've got a toddler who has a imaginary friend, and we'll see her age up and make her imaginary friend real as well. Well, there's their cat. We don't ever see much of the cat. It was a stray that walked into the house when we were moving in, and I just added it to the household. I don't do anything with the cat. It's an elder. I think most of the strays are when I put them into the household. I don't worry about adopting. I just click on it and use a mod to say add to household. So we all come up to the dining room to eat, which is 1 level above the big open area there on the bedroom level where the birthday cake was on that little table. That's Patricia in the blue dress. And there's Donna, and Mabel, of course, is the birthday girl. This little Petunia just arrived, little plant sim. She's going to be a teen shortly, later in this episode. And there's Mateo. He's the next one to age up. We're going to have a lot of cake in this episode, especially this afternoon, with this lot having 3 birthdays. So they're all going to get very stuffed. They get the stuffed moodlet when they eat, when they're not hungry. So here's Mateo, and that's little Marigold. Mateo's waiting for some of them to come downstairs from eating their cake upstairs. They should all end up with good stuffed moodlet after they've eaten Mateo's cake. And then they've got to eat Connie's cake. And there's Connie there in the blue top and jeans. Mateo and Connie are both imaginary friends made real. That doorway just there near the globe, that is the door into Petunia's bedroom. All of the doors on this level go into bedrooms. There goes Mateo. Gonna be big. Got a particular idea of what I want Mateo to look like. He's got long hair, which I'm going to get rid of immediately. Gary's got long hair, but he won't have long hair when he's a young adult. I will age Gary up before I move Donna in with them, because Donna's a young adult. We don't want her in living with her future husband when he's still a teen. At least I don't. You mightn't mind. We can't have them flirting with each other if one's a young adult, the other one's a teen. Not in this game. So there's Mateo after I changed his hair. It's sort of a bit like a mohawk, but it's squashed down mohawk. It's probably got a name, that hairstyle, but I don't know what it is. I'm sure somebody else will know. And I'm going to try to make Connie look as close as possible to her teenage look when she becomes a young adult. So there's the 3 of them who are going to be young adults by the end of this day. 2 of them are already young adults, and they're all getting that big cooked turkey stuffed moodlet now, because this is their 2nd cake they've eaten. I gave Mateo a green look because his hair is naturally greenish, because he's dark hair but it's got a green tint to it, so I made his clothes sort of green as well. Connie's birthday time. It's getting very late. It's about 10:30 at night, but I want her to stay exactly the same age as the other 2, because the imaginary friends are the same age as the sim that owned them, and she was owned by Mateo, and I still don't know how Mateo got an imaginary friend in his inventory, because he was an imaginary friend in Mabel's inventory. No, Mabel made him real, and I don't know why I looked in his inventory. I just did, and I saw he had an imaginary friend in his inventory. I guess it was a glitch. Those pictures on the wall, they're all things I've downloaded. So I'm a bit worried now. This is the third piece of cake they're going to be eating in one day, and they've already got the stuffed moodlet. And from what I've read, I've not experienced it because I usually am fairly careful with my Sims what they eat. They should start gaining weight if you force them to eat when they've got that moodlet. It's actually called the stuffed moodlet. Those paintings on the wall, there's other things I've found when I was digging around in archives looking for something completely different. Didn't expect to find them, and I didn't take a note of who made them. I think they're paint by numbers series. There's 3 files with several pictures in each one, and of course the picture in the behind on the wall now, that's from the game. It's in one of the, could be available from the store, or it might have come with an expansion or stuff pack, I don't know. That vase of flowers is also custom content. That big vase of flowers, and the herbs and things hanging on the wall over there. But most of what I use, I tend to stick to what I got from EA, but I do put custom content in occasionally. Now this is Marigold's birthday. This is the next day. They're not being forced to eat a 4th piece of cake. And there's Connie after she's been into stylist and she's got rid of her pigtails. Now what I'm going to do with Mabel, now that I've worked out a bit about the way plant Sims get their clothes, is I'm going to give her all the same blue outfit, because I've discovered that blue is not available in any of the catalogues that I've found anyway. So I'm going to have to recolour her other outfits so she gets the same colour for everything, because all of the plant Sims have got their special colour. I found that out when I'd aged up Petunia, which is going to happen very soon. So there's Marigold, and see, she's got a dark magenta sort of a flower on her head. Petunia's got a pale pink flower on her head, and Mabel used to have a blue flower, so their clothes will match the colour of the flower they've got on their head. And when you get enough of the plant Sims with different coloured outfits on, it'll look like a beautiful flower garden. And I'm going to try to get a few more young Sims aged up to at least teen, young plant sim girls aged up to teen, so I can see how many different colours I can get for my video when I make it, which is going to be all about plant sims. I'm going to go through all of my saved games and pull out all of the plant sims and put them all together in the one place. Yeah, this is a bit of a trouble because Marigold's decided to go all over the lot collecting everything that is a dirty dish or plate or spoiled food. Causes a bit of a commotion with the other Sims. I wasn't totally thrilled with the way Marigold decided to go and clean up the entire lot and find every single dirty dish on any level. She took such a long time. All I wanted her to do was go to the play table and play blocks with the other 2 little girls, Patricia and Petunia. I want to age up Patricia and Petunia soon. So I'm tired of wasting time with Marigold looking for all the dirty dishes on the lot, but it looks like she's finished with them now. But I want them to play with Marigold for a while first while they're still children, so they can get to know each other a little bit. Donna's got a lot of uncut gems in her inventory, and I want her to be able to cut every single gem type. There's no major reason for it. It's just something that could become in handy one day if she can do that. And I think she's just about got there. She can do the sun cut because she just did that one. It's a sun cut. And I think the moon cut comes next, and then she'll know them all. And there's plenty of gems lying around, and they're all gems they've collected. They're not from the board breaker because they haven't started using any of the martial arts equipment yet. I couldn't work out what was going on here. Marigold has just aged up to child. She hasn't been to school yet, and there she is sitting on the ground out the front of the house doing her homework. So while I was getting confused about that, there was this other little female sim started walking towards her, a child, and I was wondering where it came from. Didn't look at all familiar to me. Then I realised it had a little light bobbing above its head, and I thought, that has got to be Marigold's imaginary friend who has come out to play. I didn't do anything to encourage it to come out to play. Obviously, Marigold has done that all by herself. I suspect we've got another imaginary friend ready to be made real. We'll get Marigold and her imaginary friend to become very good friends. At least Marigold has been nice to her imaginary friend. She's been singing to it a lot more often than she's been punching it up. So it might it might be happy to drink the potion quite quickly. We can only hope. And as for the potion, well, as you know, I usually make the sim make the potion themselves. I did that with all of Olivia's children that wanted to get their imaginary friends made real. But in this instance, we have a household that's got millions of simoleons and nothing to spend them on. And we have 2 other Sims in the household who can make all of the potions. So I don't think I will get Marigold to learn how to make the potion to turn her imaginary friend real. We'll get one of the others to do that for her. They seem to be getting along quite well together. And remember, little Marigold is a fairy and she can do all sorts of tricks. So I thought we'd get her to try a playful pester, because that often builds a friendship a lot quicker. And there she is doing her playful pester. Looks like it might tickle. I hope she doesn't get into her head to give her the hot head or chattering teeth or something like that. That would wreck the friendship quite quickly, I think. But so far so good. That friendship is building. But we won't watch the whole thing. We'll see a little bit of what they get up to. The friendly thought bubbles going on there. Just watching to see what happens. Of course, I will tell them to do things occasionally. Oh, look, they're going to have a game of tag by the look of it. I love the way that imaginary friend is running, leaning backwards. Another one of Donna's ice sculptures there that doesn't melt. I get the feeling they're getting a little bit tired of their game of tag. But it does build their friendship. They ran around chasing each other and having hilarious fun for hours. And finally, the moment arrived when little Jelly Bean was ready to drink the potion that Petunia had slipped into Marigold's inventory. I'm really looking forward to getting all of these Sims into the Moonlit Falls save so we can have them interacting with the household of Olivia and Don. With so many imaginary friends made real in both households. I'm dying to see what happens and how many of them actually meet up with each other and become friends and maybe even form households on their own and have families of little imaginary friends that are born in game. And of course, when they're born in game, they have their own imaginary friend delivered to them like any other newborn. And I've got my chance of imaginary friend being delivered to a newborn set to 100%. And here's Jelly Bean. She's being real and she's got plaits. I always avoid plaits. I don't like the plaits because they never sit properly. But she's got plaits, and we'll have to think of another name for her. We can't have a little girl running around called Jelly Bean. A name starting with J. How about Julie? Don't usually use that name for my Sims. I don't know why. It reminds me of Julius Caesar. That's where it came from. I don't think she's going to be a general or anything like that. But she's good. She got straight to work with her cooking skill. She's been into create a Sim and she's got her new outfit, but I let her keep her leggings as a reminder of her original outfit when she was first made real. And she's kept her original outfit as well as her secondary everyday outfit, but this is her main everyday outfit. Talking about imaginary friends made real matching up and having their own children, there is already autonomously a romance developing between 2 of the imaginary friends in the Moonlit Falls household. They just hit it off straight away and there's been flirting and all sorts of things. See, what these little girls are doing now, that's why I aged up Marigold so soon and didn't age up the other 2 little girls to teen straight away, because I wanted them all to play together to get to know each other a bit as children. And as you can see, there's only one of the 3 who is still learning the block skill, and that's little Julie. I just got a picture of this and I haven't really seen a fairy damselfish up close before, and I just loved the wings. That's Mateo. He was fishing for salamanders for his elixirs that he's making in the elixir machine. I think he wants to make a bottle of Midas Touch. He's got to the top of the alchemy skill. He's completed the Alchemy Master Challenge and got his Philosopher's Stone already. I put those 2 ice lines each side of the front door, and I've started giving them a bit of a garden as well. I like to make the building and decorating of my houses a part of the game. I don't try to get the whole house finished before I move my Sims in. I like to gradually decorate according to what the Sims need or what I think of while I'm playing. It's obviously time for them to go to school, because there's the bus. Well, we're nearly ready to move everybody to Moonlit Falls, except we've just got a bit of tidying up to do. Donna has got to the top of the gem cutting machine. She can now cut all of the gems. So we're going to get some of the others to get some practice at cutting gems as well. Don't know if I'll wait to get them all up to the top level of that, but we'll get them to cut as many different gem cuts as possible. Put a few of them into the gardening career, and between them they've worked their way up. This is their going to City Hall to get their reward, their trophy for service to the world with their gardening. Donna got one ages ago, and now these two are getting theirs because they're both in the gardening skill, and they've been picking lots of money trees. I haven't been showing you them doing their gardening, but they have been working hard in the garden, getting their gardening skill up to the top. There's not only money trees in their garden now, they've got all sorts of things that planted there now, but the money trees are the dominant thing. I think there's more money trees in their garden now than there were when they were in the other house, and they had 48 of them in the other house. So there's Mateo, he's emerged with his trophy as well. So now it's time for the little girls to age up to teen. And once we've had these 2 birthdays, we'll have 2 teens and 2 children. There'll be a plant sim and an imaginary friend made real teen, and a plant sim and imaginary friend made real children as well. So that child in the blue dress, that's Patricia. She is Petunia's imaginary friend made real, and she will be aging up to teen as soon as Petunia has completed her birthday. Mateo's missing again. Here comes Marigold. The candles have been blown out. Yes, there is little Julia, and Mateo just walked in. He was late. Now look at that. Petunia's got herself a beautiful pale pink outfit, just like a beautiful rose. Can't wait for my video with all of the plant sims. I'll have to get lots of plant sims aged up to teen or older. Most of my plant sims are still children. Time for cake. Petunia's got hers and she's off, so we'll all go upstairs now and sit around the table and eat cake, and then we'll come back for Patricia's birthday and we'll all get stuffed again. As usual, when a teen ages, the game rips you away from where you were to go and look at the university mascot, who's just turned up to leave a bucket full of university goodies. But we can get back down here to the dining room where they're all sitting around the table enjoying the birthday cake. I like that pink dress she's wearing. This household has less than 8 sims in it, so everybody gets a slice of cake. That's unusual for one of my households. We normally need a whole table full of other cakes and goodies for everybody to get something to eat. But then, of course, there's nothing to skite about, because this was meant to be a household of 1. And then I added Mabel just to test a mod, and she stayed, and things just went on from there. Here is Patricia. It's her birthday now, and Mateo didn't have to go too far away. I don't think he had any cake for Petunia's birthday. Everybody else had some. Here comes Mabel. There go the candles getting blown out. Patricia has had a very busy childhood. She's done heaps of collecting, found massive numbers of butterflies and other insects and gems, all sorts of things, and lots of minor pets, which means she's got her lifetime wish achieved already as a child. And here she is, aged up to teen. I think I'll keep that outfit. It's different from what everybody else is wearing, and there's no reason why she should look the same as the rest of them. So that's her everyday outfit. I'll check on her in Stylist to make sure all of her other outfits are also acceptable. So that is it for birthdays. Everybody who's going to age up before they move to Moonlit Falls has now aged up. There are now 4 young adults, 2 teens and 2 children. Just think, my original plan for this household was 1 young adult. That's it. But I think all the extras are going to make things more colourful and interesting in Moonlit Falls when they all arrive there. So there was just exactly the right amount of cake for everybody to get a piece. Why is Donna going downstairs when the table that they eat at is upstairs? There's lots of things going on downstairs that we're going to have to fix up between now and the end of this episode. But another thing that's got to happen still is the trip to China and Egypt with Donna and Mateo. There is one important thing that everybody has to do, though, before we go off travelling, and there are 3 young Sims that have just aged up to young adult, and they need to graduate. So here we are off to the graduation ceremony in City Hall. So they've arrived at City Hall, heading inside now for the ceremony. All the plant Sims leaving their flower trails behind. I have no clue where those umbrellas came from. They just seem to autonomously end up in inventories. I didn't add any umbrellas to this save at any stage, and yet they've got them. So that's it, they've all gone inside. We'll just wait for them to come out. Won't be long. Oh, there goes Donna, the final one to go in. Here they are, they've come out, everybody's graduated. Diplomas thrown in the air, lots of claps and cheering. But let's get home. It's like having a whole new household with them all having aged up or just become real. Little Julie is now in the brown dress. I didn't realise I'd given her a brown dress as her formal outfit, but that's what she's got. There's so many different outfits available. Any Sims that I'm actually playing, I tend to try to give them a unique outfit, because I find I usually end up recognising a Sim by their outfit, even Sims I haven't played for years. If I see a particular outfit, that's their outfit, and I try to avoid giving it to other Sims. Sometimes I just do give it to another Sim simply because I like it and I think it would be good for that other Sim to have it as well. Looks like a few of them are going to stay chatting at City Hall. But we don't have to wait for them all to decide to go home, because it's time a couple of them, like Donna and Mateo, headed off to Egypt. They were in the middle of doing a tomb in Egypt when they were sent home, so they've gone back to the tomb that they were working on when they were sent home previously. This is the Tomb of the Burning Sands, and Donna is doing a quest for the Morku Corp. She's going to end up going down into that room underneath the house and delivering a bribe, and then she's going to hack the computer. But we won't see any of that. Instead, I've had Mateo doing a slightly different adventure in that same Tomb of the Burning Sands, and he got cursed by the mummy. And I've decided I want him to get cured by the Sphinx. So when you want that to happen, you've got to take them to the adventure board and search for an adventure. Of course, they can't already have an adventure, and Mateo didn't have an adventure, and he got the adventure from the adventure board to get cured. And then he has to go and plead with the Sphinx, and the Sphinx has now accepted his plea and opened the door for him to go in. Now, I've already been into the Sphinx, so he doesn't have to battle his way through all sorts of things, but you've got 14 days, 14 sim days to cure them, so it's not really critically urgent, but I want to send them off to China. So I'll just go through the Sphinx with him very quickly to let you see him get cured of the mummy's curse by the Sphinx. Donna went through this Sphinx in the previous episode when they were here before, and she's the one who's opened up all these doors and things. So there he is. He's completed the tomb. That's what that 1500 lifetime happiness points was for. Now he's meditating to the statue. Takes a while, but eventually he will get a cure. And then he'll be immune to the mummies. Oh, there it is, he's cured. He'll get a moodlet that'll last him a little while that keeps him immune from being cursed by mummy again. That's a good opportunity to go back and do something with a mummy if you want to, without fear of him being cursed again. And then when he'd been cured, we went off to China because Donna still had a dragonfish to catch. And here she is in China, fishing for her dragonfish. While they were in Egypt, they completed the Tomb of the Desert Ocean as well, and the tomb in the Great Pyramid. They had quite a happy time in Egypt, and they got lots and lots of things to take home with them, treasures and things. And while Donna is fishing for the dragonfish in China, Mateo's running around collecting stuff, getting gems and metals and things mostly. You can see the flame that the dragonfish has. And now when they've come home, there's a few things that they can reconstruct because they've now found all the pieces of them. I was hoping to add a mummy to the household by putting a canopic jar into that sarcophagus, but I don't know why. I suspect it's because the household's got so many Sims in it, but it didn't work. We've got plenty of the sarcophagi to put in there, the type that you can get the mummy from. I've done it before in a different game. Heather Hansen, one of Patience's daughters, has got a mummy in her household in Sunlit Tides. The dive wells can be useful. You need to have at least 2 of them to be useful, and you can set them up and the sim will dive in a dive well in one location and come out of the other dive well in the other location. I have occasionally put one in the basement garden, another one upstairs when I've only got one staircase up, and a lot of children doing the gardening in the basement and then missing out on school because they're always waiting for the rest of them to get up the stairs to go catch the bus. Look at that. That's all the stuff they've brought home. You can see all of the parts of the tomb collection from Egypt that they've collected. There's 13 parts altogether, so they haven't got them all, but they've got a lot of stuff. And they'll take all of that with them to Moonlit Falls, because I'm just going to take this house as it is when they're ready to leave. I'm going to save them all to the library, and then I'll place the house with them in it in Moonlit Falls. So although you didn't see them going through all of the tombs and collecting all the things that they collected, you're getting a bit of a look at what they came home with. There's the cat. There's also some of Donna's sculpted chairs there. They got these things from going through a few tombs, but mainly I think it was from excavating. Whenever they came across an excavation site while they were out chasing gemstones or metals, I would get them to excavate. And since Donna was while Donna was doing tombs, Mateo was usually collecting things out in the open, including doing lots of excavating. There's a couple of parts of the Chinese tomb collection and only 1 or 2 of the French tomb collection as well. But I've got quite a lot of the Egyptian tomb collection. Got a lot of nice vases from China. I think I've probably got a few complete collections of the smaller collections. I didn't do the tomb collection. If you want to see the whole tomb collections done, you need to watch the Isla Paradiso bunch in playlist 2. Bits of broken bowl and whatever that they've found. I normally use them for the children to take to school, although sometimes I give them other relics, but they get that opportunity quite often when you've been travelling. They want to go, deliver something a relic from China or whatever. So I don't want to lose all of my really nice relics that I like to display, especially if they're parts of collections, because you can put an entire collection in another room together and the Sims get a moodlet, wondrous collection moodlet, which gives them extra lifetime happiness. It makes them a little bit happier. That green bar goes up higher. I'm always looking for environment points and any moodlets that will increase their happiness, so we can get all the lifetime happiness points and get all the lifetime rewards as we can possibly get. There's a collection of the canopic jars, as they get the wondrous collection moodlet when they come near them. Since this is the last time we'll probably ever get to look inside this household and this house, we will now just do a quick run through each level and see what all the different Sims are getting up to. They're all doing things that they've chosen to do autonomously, so it'll be interesting to see what they've decided that they'd like to do. This is the ground floor, and usually I decorate this beautifully as it's the entrance from the outside to the rest of the house, but I haven't been able to come up with an idea for it yet, so it's turned into a bit of a random storage room. There's quite a few of the items in here are sculptures done by Donna in the old house, and it also serves as the laundry room, and no one's done any laundry yet, so it's not getting much use. And straight outside there's some areas for the children to play. We've only got 2 children at the moment, but the teens like to sit in the sand pit as well. That's Patricia in the sand pit and Marigold on the swing. And again, we've got lots of Donna's sculptures decorating, and I put a fountain in. I think we had that fountain in the middle of the greenhouse in the old house. I've managed to add a bit of a garden, and I've put an extra set of steps up to the surface. That's what that other little building is. Here's Mateo enjoying the TV. He's getting a great moodlet from this. It's a +15 pristine picture moodlet. I didn't realise the TV would give them a positive moodlet. And over the other end of the room, working at the little computer that's on that desk that came from the store, that desk and chair, that's Petunia in her beautiful pink outfit. Of course, this is the small level where the kitchen is. And then down to the next level, it's the second top basement. This is where the wondrous collection of canopic jars is. And Donna's dancing, of course. Better make sure I delete all that music that's playing so we don't get the video flagged for stealing someone's copyright to their music. That is Julie. She's obviously been into the costume chest and got out a costume. It looks like it might be in the astronaut's outfit. There's another very small room that is on the second top basement level, and it's only accessible via that staircase that emerges inside that tiny little building behind the main house. You can't get to it directly from the rest of this level. There's no connection between the two. So that's the staircase, and if you go up a couple of levels, you'll come out in the yard in that tiny little building. And if you go down a couple of levels, you'll end up on the garden level, where you'll be able to get to the group science project that's permanently got a green flame because it makes them get their skills so much faster. So that's their gymnasium. However, I don't think I've seen anybody in there using it yet. I'm sure they will at some point from a slightly different angle. And this second top level is also known as the bedroom level, and that's the bedrooms off in the distance. And now we go down to the next level down, and you can see off in the distance there is all the things that they got when they were traveling to China and Egypt and France. It's where they keep their skilling machines, and some of those skills we've already seen them using, and others they haven't touched yet. That's where the gem cutting machine is, and also because they need things for their elixirs, they've been collecting gems and butterflies. It may not look very full, but the bug cabinet is really stuffed full of insects, and the elixir cabinet beside it has got lots of elixirs and many other things. Of course, the cat loves to watch the butterflies and other insects, so it spends a lot of its day just sitting there or stretching or doing whatever it needs to do to be a cat. It does venture outside occasionally, and it has got scratching pole and litter tray and food, but they're all on different levels. And finally, there's the ground floor where we've got the garden and the group science project. Money trees are dropping seeds. There's a wishing well that they do use occasionally, and that's where all of the sarcophagi and the dive well were placed. And there's a fairy house down the end, but it hardly ever gets used. I suppose having two fairies in the house, the fairy castle up on the ground level and the fairy house, will probably keep them happy. There's a Bonehilda coffin because somebody wished for a Bonehilda coffin. No one's actually let Bonehilda out yet. The 3 treasure chests are full of fish and gems and metals and other things, and lots of harvestables. There's a little room there behind the coffin, and that's a toilet that they can use. It's there because Donna sculpted a toilet, so we had to use it. I'm delighted that you've stuck around till the end of the video, and here is the entire family gathered together to thank you for still being here. If you've enjoyed the video, it would be greatly appreciated if you'd give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, well then think about subscribing so you can see the next videos. I'm about to start recording video for the next part of the story, which will be back in Moonlit Falls, and it'll be Gary's birthday. He'll be aging up to young adult, and at the end of that video I will plop this house into Moonlit Falls. You won't see them on the next video, but the one after you should see them. And I'll probably move Donna into the Walker household at some stage during that video and leave the rest of this household to their own devices. So thank you for watching, and happy simming.